Okay, I'm Jonathan Putnam. I'm from CHS. I'm a 12th grader there. And just getting right into it, teens value the same things that everybody else values. I know I personally value my friends, my family, and myself. So as far as figuring that out, I have a story. At the end of my freshman year, I was about 100 pounds, really skinny kid, really tiny. So when you stand out like that, you really do have a declined sense of self-worth. So I decided just to take matters into my own hands. So I started going to the gym almost every single day. I've still kept up with that trend. And as of right now, I've gained 65 pounds. So thank you. So, and through that process, I learned a lot about myself, and as to what I value. I learned that first off, I have self-worth. I discovered that once I started to look like everybody else, I suppose. And above all else, how supportive everybody around me has been. My parents were with me 100%. Of course, Donovan, who's my best friend, where he was with me the entire time. So I'm really grateful for that. And I guess that's my story about how I discovered what I value and what I'm sure all other teens value. So, thank you.
Hello. My name is Donovan Lowe, and I am a senior at Chillicothe High School. I am currently the senior class president, and I run cross country and track.
If you want to stand, if you want to stand, that's fine. If you want to come out and stand, that probably makes you better. You may feel more comfortable.
Okay. My values. I value my friends, my family, my dreams and goals, whatever makes me happy, pretty much. When I come to a decision, I look at it as whatever will make me most happy in the short run or long run. So for example, let's say it's Friday night, I have a lot of tests on Monday. I can either go to the party or I can study. The party will make me happy for the weekend, I guess. But then if I study, my test scores will go up, it will contribute to my GPA, to college, and so on and so on. And get a better job, and I'll be happier later on. Another thing is values definitely change in your life. I know, I'm sure for me, everybody knows that I'm a runner. I run all the time. People see me run all the time. And in early February, I got injured, and I was injured for 6 months. And I was unable to run, which was something I loved a whole lot. And I did it 6 times a week. Did it every day. And my main value was just, become the best runner I could be. And while I was injured, I kind of sat back and thought, and I kind of really found myself. I found other values. I discovered that I can be a better student and just, different interests. So honestly, I'm kind of actually happy that I got injured just so I could kind of find myself. So, yeah, happiness is my true value.
Okay, hi, my name is this on? Yeah. Yeah, switch me mics. Yeah, good point. So, hi, my name is Jasmine Roper. I am 15 years old and I'm currently a sophomore at Chillicothe High School. I came from California State and I used to live there pretty much most of my life, and I moved here last year, so I spent my freshman year here in Ohio, and I'm liking it very much. It's something different and I think it's really Okay, so I found my values actually really early in my life. I don't know what made me feel so like determined on what I believe in and what I want to do with my life, but all my life my mom's been teaching me you don't want to be the same as everybody else. You want to be different. You want to be your own self, and I've always been changing and learning different things throughout different life experiences. In middle school, I was really, really popular in 6th and 7th grade, and then 8th grade, that's when everybody goes through their changing stage drastically that year and throughout that summer before you go into high school. And I had a very big life-changing experience because a lot of my friends started to change, and I started to see different things and different people, and I began not liking myself as much as I did before and as much as I do now. But that summer in between there, I learned a lot about myself, and then when we decided that we were going to move here, my life changed a lot for the better because I made all new friends, I found out more about myself, and I determined like what I wanted to see myself doing 10 years from now. Most people at my age don't know what they're going to do with their life already, but I'm pretty positive about what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to college. I'm pretty set on UCLA or Cal Berkeley in California or Tuskegee University, but I'm open to many different things, so we don't know yet. But I'm going to major in broadcast journalism, and I'm going to, after that, I'm going to go do my 3 years of law school and become a lawyer. So that's my value right there. I value a lot of different things. I value a lot of people's personalities rather than my own because I like my own personality, but I like seeing things in other people that I don't see in myself, and I learn from that and adapt to that and change to see what I'd like for my kids to learn when I have them, not yet. But so that's my values, and that's how I've adapted to the things that I want to grow into. And Christianity was a big part of that also. I go to church probably like 3 days a week, sometimes less, sometimes more. I'm involved in a lot of things at church, and that helps me learn a lot of different things from like the way I feel about certain things, because you can always ask somebody and they'll tell you, oh, well, this is the way it's supposed to be done, and then sometimes you change on that, and sometimes it teaches you different things. Like Serena over there, that's my choir director. So yeah, I practice the songs, I promise. So she helps me out a lot of times. I can talk to her, I can talk to my aunt, and I can talk to anybody. And when you get open like that, it's a lot easier to find different values for yourself to help other people find theirs. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Carla Burkert. I came here from Cincinnati, the Cincinnati area near Kings Island. I am 18 years old and I'll be attending New York University in August. I want to tell you guys a story to get to my values. I'm originally from Germany, and my family moved here in 2007, and we moved the day before I turned 10. I did not speak any English. I had English in school, but I only knew the basic vocabulary that you learn when you first start a language, so I couldn't really have a conversation with anybody. And I had to sign papers for when we moved here, and it never occurred to me that what it meant to pick up and just go somewhere else. I was like I've been to America before. Every summer my mom's dad lived here, so we would come visit him. So to me, moving to America just meant America, Florida, beaches, Disney World, all that kind of stuff, not like a life-changing experience, basically. And then I got here, and we moved towards the end of 4th grade, and my parents had to go look for a job, so they just put me into school. And then I sat in the classroom and realized I don't speak English. I have no idea what anybody is saying right now. I don't know any of these people. Then school, it was towards the end, it was 4th grade, so there wasn't much actual learning anymore. It was kind of just getting ready for the summer, basically. Over the summer, the 3 months, I started talking less and less. I even didn't speak to my parents. I didn't speak German or English. I didn't say anything. My parents got kind of worried that they made a wrong decision and we should probably go back to Germany. And then apparently one day I came downstairs and just started speaking fluent English. So over those 3 months, I guess I just kind of listened to everybody and absorbed it. And then I went to school and realized, okay, I can speak English now. Now I have to figure out what my next step is. So during the summer, I was kind of, I don't remember it, but I'm guessing that now, because all the thought, what I want to do with my life, I had to figure out how to get ready for life in America, I guess. So I finally mastered the language. I can speak English fluently now. I'm in school, but then I realized that's not everything. That's not the only thing I need in life. Like, there's more. And while I was over the summer, I realized this when I was writing my college essays, because this is what I wrote about for my college essays. There's a difference between isolation, not being around anybody, and isolation, being around people but not being able to interact with them. And so one of my main values is to have a good support system. And over the summer for community service, or last year for community service, there's a requirement that my high school had for us to graduate, and I worked at the Ronald McDonald House in downtown Cincinnati. And that's when I realized what kind of how important really a support system is. The Ronald McDonald House had people from all over the world come over because Cincinnati, the greater Cincinnati, the Children's Hospital, had the medical care that they needed for their families. And a lot of these families didn't speak English either, so they just kind of picked up their family and moved over here just so they could give the medical needs, the medical care that their children need. And that's when I realized, or that's when it hit me too, that, I mean, like, what do I want to say? There's a similarity between what my family did and what they did. And it's tough to be in a place where you grew up, you know everybody, you know the lifestyle, the language, the culture, you have your friends that support you, you kind of know where your life is heading, and then something happens and you just have to go somewhere else and it's completely different, and you have to find people that still support you, that you go along with, you still need your family around. And when I had to give this presentation for community service, while I was talking, I realized that my story is similar to these families at the Ronald McDonald House. So one of my main values basically is that if you have to be in a place where you feel you understand what you're doing, you have stability. Like for me, I can speak English now. I kind of have to figure out what I want to do with my life. I'm stable. I have my family. They'll take care of me. They're here to support me. And then you have to find friends as well that will support you, maybe tell you if you're making a bad decision, or kind of help you step away from anything as well. So yeah.
How's it going? I'm just going to stay here because I've got some talking points here. So, my name is Blake Hillard. I'm from the greater Cincinnati area as well, Warren County. Anyone? All right. Yeah. So, when I came into high school, I was thinking I was like the big shot, you know. High school, all my friends are a grade above me, you know. I'm so cool. Can't wait, you know. Everyone's going to value me. They're going to think I'm awesome. But it wasn't the case, right? Well, I thought it was up until a while. But I spent, in my first year of high school, I got into my first relationship with, you know, it was a dating relationship. That's what I mean. And it was kind of toxic. I didn't realize it first, because, you know, when you're in a relationship, it's all the googly eyes, lovey-dovey, right? It was draining. It was costing me more than it was giving. But I didn't recognize that at the point. My parents did, right? You know, but once you get out of it, you realize, like, your parents are right, you know, all that, you know, whatever. But I spent 2 years in that relationship. And then by the time I came out of it, I didn't know who I was. So I did the logical thing, and I spent 1 month single, and then I got into another relationship, right? Right. And I didn't have friends. I mean, I had like circles of groups that I would associate with, right? But they thought I was like busy doing cool stuff in my life. Like they never invited me to anything because they thought I was like too cool or busy for them, which wasn't the case. It might have been the face I put on, but it was not the case whatsoever. Yeah, so that was the next relationship. The second one was much better, much healthier. But anyway, like in high school, you don't need to be with someone to define who you are. That's high school. Those are your formative years. And it's something that I wish I would have recognized earlier. I mean, I say this, I loved that girl. I mean, okay, I think I can like say, all right, I deeply cared about her. Right? And that relationship lasted up until 3 weeks ago, which I had graduated in May. So from sophomore year to senior year. But she was a year above me, so I spent my senior year worrying, alone, you know, crying, while she was in college, worrying, am I good enough, hating myself. Also, senior year, I don't recommend senior year to anyone. My best friend actually passed away a year ago in September. He died in a car wreck. It was a really turbulent time for myself because I put myself in seclusion. The whole community dealt with it completely different than myself. They came together and celebrated his life, and I did those as well. But I never felt the true, you know, connection, right, to everyone else. But I put myself in seclusion. I told myself that I could handle it by myself. Well, I finally started listening to my parents. And, I mean, imagine that, right? And I spent more and more time with them, more and more time with friends. And the more I did that, the more I valued my alone time. The more I valued myself. And my alone time was spent more productively. I would, and not even just, you know, working or stuff like that. It was just me reading, watching something, thinking. I think that's the most important thing you can do in high school is not figure out who you are, because you're never going to fully know yourself and your values, but you're going to know the path which you want to take, right? You're going to know the sort of loose guidelines that you want to apply to your life, right? So the main thing that I learned is that it's okay to be alone, as long as you love yourself as much as you tell yourself you love someone else, right? And another thing that I learned is that relationships come and go, all of them. Life is the way I imagine it in my head. Everyone is on their own linear plane, right? Everyone is on their own linear plane. And someone will diverge from their straight path, and you will cross paths for a short amount of time, or however long that time is. If it's not working out, it's not working out. It's as simple as that. You can try to fix it. You can try to repair that. But in high school, what's the point? I mean, right? So, but that applies beyond it. Everyone is on their own path, and you need to worry about yourself first and those who are so close to you. So those are the really main things that I learned. And I'm going to end it with a familiar proverb. "'Tis better to be alone than with bad company."
Hello. My name's Nick Freilich. I just graduated from Kings High School right next to Kings Island in Cincinnati. I'm going to Miami University to study political science and social justice studies. Besides being really involved with political organizing this summer, the other thing that I absolutely love to do is music. And that's always been a huge part of my life. One way I didn't realize it would affect me is through understanding what it meant to be a leader. And so a quick story to explain that. The marching band at my high school is one of the best marching bands in the state. They're the huge well, they're not really the pride of the school because no one cares about the marching band. But we really like ourselves. And so I remember there's one member of the marching band that everybody knows, and that's the drum major. Other people call that the field commander. If you're unfamiliar, that's the person on top of the podium conducting everybody, and they're the person in charge. And ever since I was in band, that's who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the drum major, the field commander, the person in charge. And so we wait, and I wait my turn. 2 years pass, and it's junior year. Old drum major's leaving. It's my turn, right? I've been building up my leadership resume and everything. I've practiced my trumpet because that's what I played. And so the application and audition process begins. And what it is you had a couple things. You had to conduct the band in the national anthem. You had to memorize a couple different tempos or timings. And then also you had an interview where you explained to the band directors why you felt like you should be in charge. And so once I figured this out, I went right to work. I stood in front of a mirror for hours on end, practicing my conducting, my posture, and everything. I was ready to go, and you also had to play some things. So I'm ready, my audition comes, and in my head, I think I rock it. There's nothing that could have possibly gone wrong. It's in the bag. I've had this coming for a long time. Well, guess what? 2 weeks pass, and they come to their decision. It was not me. I was not close. I did not get to be the drum major. And I was destroyed. I was heartbroken. And I came out of my isolation and everything, and I started asking myself, well, why? Why didn't I get this? My posture was amazing. My conducting was great. I killed the trumpet solo. What was it? Why not me? And then I realized, oh yeah, it was the interview. I was not fit to be a leader. I was ready to be in charge, but I was not ready to lead. And that's when I discovered the main difference. I started thinking, well, this girl who got it, why did she get it? And I realized, well, there's three main things that a leader needs to really lead and not just be in charge. And that is to inspire hope and make people believe in themselves and just make sure everyone is confident in their own abilities. The second thing is to not be so wrapped up in their title. She did not care that she was the drum major. She was just excited to be on the podium helping as many people as they can. And, all right, I guess it's kind of embarrassing because the third one just slipped my mind. But, yeah. So my main point would be there's a difference between being in charge and leading, and anybody can be a leader. You do not have to be the drum major, you don't have to be the class president, you don't have to be any sort of authoritative position to be in charge of other people. Well, not in charge, but to lead, and that's by inspiring hope.